Good afternoon.
Good start.
Oh boy.
But again, you know what, Chris? I'm actually blaming Nana for this because Nana decided to change the time. You know what, Chris? I'm actually blaming Nana for this because Nana. Oh,
There's a feedback somewhere.
There's a feedback somewhere.
There's an echo. It's from you.
There's a feedback somewhere. From
Sounds
me.
like coming through. It's not coming from mine. Yeah,
Let me
when me and Nana are talking, it's not happening.
Exactly. It's only to breathe. Damas.
It's coming from Tabriz, not coming from us. Tabriz got multiple mics everywhere.
You know what? I totally forgot that I had the channel on one of my tabs. That's why there was feedback.
Shock horror.
I told you it's slow. Sometimes you just have to allow it.
I'm not gonna lie. You're having an absolute stinker tonight.
I'm having a nightmare.
Sorry. You said you're having an absolute stinker this afternoon.
It gets worse. Just hold on. Just hold on. It gets worse.
And we've only just started.
Oh boy.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Chris, how are you doing, sir?
I'm very good, thank you, sir. I'm very good. I hope you and Nana are both well.
Good. Nana, how you doing?
I'm blessed. Blessed beyond measure, brother. I hope both of you are well as well.
Yeah, good stuff.
All good,
okay.
man. All good.
We're gonna go straight into it. Chris, you played for Hollington. You guys played LSU yesterday.
Yeah.
Hollington beat LSU. Was it 2-1?
Yeah.
Could you please talk about the game?
Yeah. So it was a scrappy game. I feel like it was a scrappy game, but you know, I feel like LSU started the sharper than us. I think they were kind of on it. They created I know there was one clear chance that they had early on. I think it was Gibbo had a header at the back post. It slightly went over, and you know they played really well. You know, it was the conditions were a bit mad. The pitch wasn't. Obviously, it was all right when you first walked onto it. By the time you started playing, it started cutting up a bit. But then, obviously, I think we started growing into the game. We had to make 2 changes quite early on in the game. So Justin, our centre-back, he went off due to an injury that he thought he recovered from, but it ended up coming back to affect him during the game. So he came off. And then Craig had to come off. So what happened was we went 1-0 up. You know, as we started growing into the game, we started getting on the ball a bit more. Then we scored. Norts scored for us. You know, he got a good bit of play down the left wing. We ended up cutting it into the box. He got it quick feet, quick snapshot into the bottom corner. It was quite a very good finish. You know, he adjusted his feet really well, and he was able to get across the goal and into the bottom corner, which was a very, very good goal. Then literally we caught LSU cold, so they took the centre. There's a little bit of play, and then we broke down the right wing. Our right back Craig, he played right back at the time. He broke. We've played a little bit of football down the side, got him in. He then got into the box and he won a penalty. But in the process of winning the penalty, he ended up breaking his ribs.
Snap.
Yeah, so it was, you know, so he's now going to be out for, they said 6 to 8 weeks. So, you know, I don't know if he's watching, but if he is, Craig, rest up, man. You know, health is more important. I hope you get better soon. Yeah, so we then had to make another change. Then we scored the penalty. We went in 2-0 at half time. We came out, you know, feel like it was a bit back and forth. I think we created a few chances. I think we could have gone. Maybe 3-0 up. Had a couple of chances. I think we had maybe 1 or 2 chances, but I wouldn't say very, very clear cut. It was a bit scrubbing in, as they do, in football. LSU started growing into the game a lot more, started putting a bit more pressure on us. Then there was a mistake from our centre back that put them through on goal with the keeper. He then scored, made it 2-1. Then obviously they got their towels are up, and then they're obviously in the game a lot more. And then for the last, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes, they were really on top of us, really pushing to get a goal. They had a couple of chances. But I feel like we defended really well. It's one of them games where it's like, I said, you know what, it might not have been the prettiest, we might not have played the prettiest of football, but it's all about the 3 points. And I think it's very, very important to get the 3 points yesterday. So that was it was a massive win. But, respect to Lloydie and them guys over at LSU. They dug in all the way to the end. They really put us under pressure and made us work for the 3 points. You can see that they really pushed us hard for that 3 points. So yeah, it was good, man. It was good. So it was quite a good Saturday.
Do you think you've answered a few critics that have said that Hollington can only play on like 4G and again, literally they can't dig in when the kind of times are tough? Because again, like I think before the game against LSU, you guys lost against Brentwood. So, there was kind of questions being asked about the team.
Yeah, we obviously lost against Brentwood, and that was on the 3G, so it doesn't really make a difference, does it? And they deserve to win. I feel like on the day Brentwood were more clinical, more focused on what they were looking to achieve in the game. I think we started off really sharp, and then we died out in the game where they played to it. They had a game plan, they stuck to it. They beat us. Congrats to them. Hopefully, I don't know if they're still in the cup, but if they do, I hope they do all right. But yeah, I've heard things about us not being able to play on grass, and I think Saturday showed that we can. We're able to mix it. I think our speaker to clubs. I didn't play for them last year, and I've only just kind of come back properly this season due to coaching and stuff, but. A lot of them were saying that people have made them comments, and I personally was quite surprised because with the footballers that we have in the team, we should be able to mix it with anyone on grass or on Astro. And I think yesterday was a quite obvious that we can. We dug deep when we needed to. Made very important challenges, played the right way when we had to. If we needed to get it up the pitch, we got up the pitch. We was able to play in patches. So I think if we're going to say to answer any critics, then yeah, I think so. But then again, it's still a long season, so there's going to be other games we've got to play on grass. So the only thing we can do is continue to answer them critics by hopefully getting results on Astro or on grass. So that's it, really.
Nana, as the manager of Catford, I mean, what did you think about the result?
There was it was always going to be a tough task. Anyone playing in Hollington after that heavy loss to Brentford. Notwithstanding, obviously, LSU are a force to reckon with in this division. So I thought it was going to be a very, very, very tight game. That thing about Hollington not being able to play on grass, and I think that's nonsense. Don't forget that they went a season and a half unbeaten until they played us and we beat them at home. They went a season and a half unbeaten on grass, albeit different players, a lot more different players now, but they've got enough ballers to be able to do a job when it counts, whether it's Astro or grass. This season, currently, this table is wide open. Hollington are definitely the favourites. But it's interesting because every week in, week out, you see some results where you don't expect. So you can't really tell. It will be closer to the end of February to understand and try and pinpoint, okay, this team or that team is gonna, edge it. But I think it's gonna go right down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
And Nana, do you want to talk about the Catford friendly yesterday against Leone Stars?
No.
Nah. Do you want to talk about it?
No, I want to talk about it. Yeah. I don't mind. Like there's some players in my camp that I asked them to come on, and they acted like it's a family friendly show, so I want to say pussycats. But I think everybody knows what I mean, because Leone Stars, we have them in a couple of weeks, but they're always a good physical side. We've got a good relationship with them. So for me, I don't mind playing them week in, week out, because you know what you're gonna get. They really move the ball about well. Got a few players who cause havoc every time, and also because this is our first season in the top flight, we want to be active. We want to be playing games. We want to play against the toughest oppositions to get us match fit and to the right standard. So after we have a game, we opted to play Leone Stars. Really, really good game. Wanted to see some of the players who hadn't played in a long time or hadn't had a lot of the minutes, throughout the season. But yes, I think by halftime we were 3-0 down. With Rashid and Kamara causing hell of a lot of problems for the team. Second half, changed personnel, played slightly better, and then ended up 2-0. But we lost 3-2. But again, it was a good game for Catford in terms of getting minutes for the players who haven't already done so. And we played them, I'm glad it was a friendly, but we played them again in a couple of weeks. And when it's real business, and then we see how it goes over there, because this one doesn't count.
Yeah, fair enough. No, can I ask a question quickly?
Absolutely.
You're part of the committee, right?
Yes, I am.
And so I was asked a question. It didn't affect anything yesterday, but I was speaking to some of the LSU guys after the game as well, and even they were like, if it happened, if the shoe was on the other foot, they will kind of question it themselves. So, but he actually did a good job. I know this is not against him or anything. He actually did really well. But one of the linos yesterday is I don't know if he still is, but when I was there, he was affiliated with LSU.
Oh yes. I got briefed about it today.
Yeah. So my question to that is that does that affect? Is that something that is looked at as in being an issue? Because I'm not like I said, I'm not saying he actually did a really good job. He actually linoed the game excellently, but you know how I was looking, and we had a chat after the game with me and a lot of the LSU guys, and we were saying, let's say one decision kind of went against us. It's kind of an argument that he's affiliated to them, and that could be part of it, which it wasn't. But is that something that you guys look at when you are assigning the referees and stuff like that? Do you look at that if he's affiliated or something like that with them to allow them to ref the game still? Or
yes, so two things. One, when you say when we look at it's purely me, because I'm the referee secretary, so I actually appoint the referees and the ARs to those games. John Edwards is a fantastic referee, new referee, but fantastic referee. He wasn't appointed to the game at that time.
Right.
So I think his game was called off, so he came to watch that game.
Yeah.
However, the referee who was meant to be on that match was running late, so he basically stepped up and did that game. Now, as officials, irrespective of the game you put on, obviously, when I appoint referees, I try to look at affiliation and teams you've played for, been associated with, etc., etc. So there's no conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So I would always try to appoint referees in matches where they don't even know the teams, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
However, I expect every referee, as a referee myself, I expect every referee that, irrespective of the game that you do, once you wear that black jersey, you are a referee.
Yeah.
Irrespective of who you know in the team, because people forget that it's a very small community. This best football. It's a very, very small community. And also, if for any reason I'm unable to appoint a ref to a particular game, don't forget that the rule book says that the clubs have to appoint somebody within that club to referee the game. So that person might be the manager, might be one of the players. It doesn't even have to be qualified referee. They have to do the game anyways. You see what I'm saying? So that's even worse than someone who's on the sidelines and actually a qualified referee doing the game.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm glad you had because a few games were postponed, were called off. So I was able to have a few referees who were spare to be on the line for that game, because it's a huge game in this league, and you don't really want it to be marred by decisions from club appointed liners. You want the league to be able to appoint ARs to those games, obviously with the agreement of both clubs. So I'm glad the game went on really, really well.
Yeah, no, like I said, it makes sense now, because I think one of the officials did turn up later. I heard him on the sideline saying something about he should have been told if someone was covering, but obviously it makes sense now that John stepped in. Like I said, he was excellent. There was no issues about it, but it was just a question to ask, because if let's say something did happen controversially, that's an argument. That's an argument either team could debate about. So that's why I wanted to ask how it works. But now you've explained it, it makes sense. And yeah, I'm not sure if it was meant to be the referee or the liner, but he actually turned up late, and I could hear him on the sideline complaining, saying that someone should have told him that someone else has stepped in. But
we were just lucky to have a qualified ref on the sideline.
I totally agree. Like having three of them yesterday made it a lot easier. No one had to step in, and no one from each team had to step in. So it made life a lot easier. So we appreciate that.
A lot of teams.
It was because I had you here. I thought it was a question to ask and just get a better understanding. So that's why I thought I'd ask it.
Absolutely, I've seen a lot of teams with club appointed liners where they suddenly have tennis elbow. Offside. So this is not a game that you want it to be decided by poor officiating. So I'm glad it went that way.
Thank you for clearing that up, man.
That's all right, man. Anytime.
And this kind of leads nicely into like the topics that we're going to be talking about. Actually, Chris, to you as a player, would you prefer to pay that extra £2-3 more a game to have a full team of officials?
Yeah, it's 100%, because I know some people, I'm not saying anybody, but some people may say like you're paying anyway to pay for a game of football anyway. But I think adding an extra couple of quid onto it will make a big difference, because then it takes away. It actually takes away, like Nana said, it takes away the stress and the issue of people saying that other people are cheating. Do you know what I mean? Like we played games. I played the game this morning. The referee was brilliant. We had to have one of their players on the sideline, and one time our player literally ran from our half and was onside, right? And the guy gave offside. The ref can only go off what the liner's done. So one of our guys was like, "Look, mate, like you're taking liberties now. Like you can see where he's run from. The guy wasn't even in line. So having actual officials will make it so much easier because then you haven't got the stress of arguing with, I don't know, someone from Holland or someone from LSU for doing the line, and and I guess it makes it easier on the referee as well because then the referee hasn't got the stress of having to cover up for someone who's involved with either team. They're able to work together. The officials can work together, and then we've then got to, as players, we then got to, as the word says, we've then got to suck eggs because then it's like, even if we disagree, but they're the officials. It is what it is, and I think it will make life so much easier as a player.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, even the few extra quid at this current moment in time might not even help because we are so short on referees.
Yeah,
we're so short on referees. I'm actually looking to. I'll be putting something out on the league Insta and socials about recruiting more referees, where we subsidize for players and people to just take the referee course and become referees. Because we need more referees.
Yeah, 100%, man. I think as well as you look at recent events with referees that's happening, people don't want to do it because of the fear of something being said, especially within grassroots. So some people don't want to be a referee. So I think that's another difficulty that we've got to handle. I read earlier the referee, is it Mike Oliver that did the Arsenal game? He's now getting apparently death threats and all that. So if it's happening at the highest level, why would anyone in the grassroots level want to be a referee? Because you never know what's going to happen. So
I mean, it's I would never say it's an excuse. Whatever the referee does, I would never say it's an excuse for people to send those stupid death threats and all that. He was poor though. He was poor, and he's been consistently poor when it comes to Arsenal games. And I mean, I'm a Man United fan, so the pain of Arsenal, I enjoy. Straight up, but yeah. I mean, like eight red cards against Arsenal, the most. As a referee, I don't even like to say that, but sometimes you almost feel like, oh, this is this something against the club? Is it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I just hope that he's well, he's okay, and these are just empty threats.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed, man.
Fingers crossed. So this kind of leads me nicely into our first topic stroke debate, and again, short, simple, concise, because we've got a few that we've got to get through. And again, thank you to the people watching. Chris, I'm going to start with you first. Do you think top teams, especially in our division, our Vets League, get special treatment from referees? And literally, the reason why I'm saying this is, we're talking maybe a couple of seasons ago, Chalco were in our league, and literally a lot of people will actually say that the referee, was always siding with them. Do you think even right now there's some referees that that will give a decision or let a decision go because of the influence of one team?
No, I disagree, because you'll always have a mindset of that, especially if you are not one of the teams that are obviously up there. That'll always be an excuse, I guess, because you'd always feel like things are going against you. But I don't think the top teams get special treatment, not at all. Also, our ref yesterday was he's the best that I've had. Honestly, he was amazing. Credit to him. I don't know his name, but Spencer
Goldsmith.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. He's the best ref I've had in Vets, even outside of Vets in non-league. He was excellent, and he explained things. He spoke to you, and he was so approachable. I guess I guess it all depends on how you approach the referee and how your mindset is. I don't think it's necessarily the referees. And I'm one of the people that will always I have ups and downs with referees, and I don't always see eye to eye with them. But I think it's more of a personal thing, because then I feel like they're doing stuff that I don't like, for example. But again, it's my perspective and what I see. Do you know what I mean? I don't think personally that they give favour to anyone. I don't think they do that. That's yeah.
Okay. Nana?
I agree with Chris, and also as referee secretary, you'd I mean, when I took over this, the whole point was to have the right referee for the right game, not just any referee for any games, because for referees there's different levels of experience and competence. So you have to be able to put the right referee in the right game to ensure that you get the best match day experience from that official. And if any referee is given decisions and whatnot to top division teams or certain teams, then I'd like to know why, because that's really not the point. If they're competent, then they're competent to be able to go there and do a job. You know, there shouldn't be. Even in my experience as a referee, I know that some teams are quite difficult to referee against. There's teams in all the divisions that, even in the lower divisions, there are teams that I will not appoint certain referees to, because I know the aggro, the aggression, sometimes the abuse that can come from some of these teams, because I've done almost all these teams over the years, and it's still happening. So if you put the right referee to the right game, then it makes it easier to be able to officiate confidently, if that actually makes sense. I'm yet to receive any complaints that this referee's doing this or that because it's this team. So I heard a few when teams like Charcoal were around, because obviously you know the way they are. So some referee might be intimidated. It's just like you doing a SC Dons game, under the radar game. All the cameras, all the lights, all this, all that. Some referees can be intimidated by that and get swayed in terms of decisions. Because there's games where you have like 5 people watching. There's games where you have like 100 people watching in grassroots football. And the referees are human beings. So if they are not experienced and competent enough to do those games, they might be put under pressure to give decisions and all that. But in this league and in the last few seasons, no, I don't think it's been that way. I think it's been all right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I like totally agree with you. Big shout to goalkeeper Kevin. It's kind of very hard to be a ref. Like players, some are better than others. And to your last point, I would always favor having a neutral linesman. Cheating for offsides particularly happens every game. And yeah, I mean, it's. I think it's just one of these things where we are used to having a club official linesman. It's just the norm. And when you do get a team of officials, it is refreshing. But also as well, what Nana was saying is that because there was really not a lot of games happening yesterday, Nana could afford to actually have his team officiate, I'd say the biggest Vex game, this season with, Hollington and LSU in the Southern Light Vets League. So it does make it easier, but also in, regarding long term, would players be happy paying possibly £15 a game or £14 a game? It may not sound a lot. Well, I mean, £14 a game.
That's a lot. What are you talking about?
Sorry?
That's a lot. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that is a lot. So imagine playing, paying that every single match. It does build up. And again, we have to be mindful of of like, people come out to enjoy playing football, not worrying about spending X amount and thinking, oh well, how am I gonna do certain things within that week? So
Yeah, but to me, I don't think it's ever going to come to £14. Maybe in the next 10 years, because at the moment, referee fees are for this league is £50 per game, and for the ARs, the assistant referees, is £35. And when it's a cup game, it's split cost. When it's a league game, the away team pays the referee, but if there's a full team of officials for free, the away team will pay the referee and one AR, and then the other, the home team will pay for one AR. So if you're talking about a team of like a team will come up with maybe 15, 16 players. So if they have to pay anything extra, it's probably like £1 or 50p to cover the cost at the moment. So it's not a significant increase in cost. I mean, teams can afford that at the moment. I'm not saying it's cheap, but for a good match day experience with a hassle or less hassle of having club liners cheat and all that, I think it gives you the joy of enjoying your game, knowing that the game wasn't decided by an offside decision or a bad decision from club appointed liners. You see what I'm saying?
I was literally just about to say that, like, on the flip side to you saying, Tabriz, that people come out of the house, and have to pay extra money, whatever. But also, do we leave our house to run the risk of having someone from an opposite team not do it fairly? Do you know what I mean? That just ruins your whole game. That just ruins it, because you just, like, yes, we want it to be competitive, but at the same time, you want it to be fun. You want it to be enjoyable. Like you said, a lot of us know each other within the Vets community, especially within the league we're in. Everyone, it's a small circle. Everyone knows each other. So do you really want to be walking out with your mindset thinking, right, there's a possibility that this person on the line is going to ruin the game because they don't do it fairly? Because I'm not saying people go out to do it on purpose, but that it happens. It happens in games. So for me, I can only speak for myself. I don't earn loads of money, but I'd rather pay that extra bit of money knowing that there's a possibility of another referee or an assistant referee running the game for us, because it just makes life easier. I can then, myself and my teammates can go on the pitch knowing that, okay, we ain't going to agree with every decision the referee makes. That's life in football. But at the same time, we know that they've got no alliance between either of the teams, and they're going to ref the game to their best ability. You know what I mean? We're not always going to see eye to eye with them, but they're going to do their best.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Let's kind of go on to the next topic, and Nana, you will start. Do you think Vets teams, especially I'd say like teams at the top end, rely too much on younger players rather than relying on the more older, experienced players?
No, I think the manager has got a huge job of finding the right balance of experience and youth. When we joined, it was I joined the Vets scene at probably 38 years old. Because I was tired of chasing around the kids in the open age. Now, and the pace was a lot slower then. But now there's a lot of young 35s who've come through. So it's fitter, it's more physical, and there's a lot of technical ability as well. But there's a lot of players who are even 40, just over 40 as well, who are very, very experienced and can really ball. So I wouldn't say, it depends on the crop of players that you have, but you need to be able to find the right balance of experience and youth to have a decent side. Because listen, you can have all the experience you want, but if you're 45, unless you're extremely fit, your legs are never the same as a 35-year-old. That's just, it's somebody like Nino, like an Andre. You see what I'm saying? Them lot can run all day. So you can have all the experience you want, but if the ball is laid over the top, you're not catching them. You see what I'm saying? So you have to find the right balance in youth and experience to have that perfect mix, skill, technique, athleticism to be able to compete, especially at the top level.
Chris?
It depends, isn't it? Because I think obviously younger, 35, 36, depending on what they're coming out of, if they're coming out of still playing from before, then yeah, it's always good to have in your team, because then you know that, like Nana said, you're going to have the energy, the fitness and stuff like that. But then when you've got some of the older guys, depending on where they've played and how well they're looking after their body, I don't think it really makes a massive difference. Yeah, you do have some of the younger guys that are quicker and fitter, but sometimes if you're quicker up here, it still doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I've played with and against people that you would think that someone that's slightly younger will run rings around them, but because they're quicker up in the mind, doesn't make a difference, because they're able to read what the player's going to do, so they can then obviously affect it in that way. But I think, like Nana said, it's always good to have a great balance of both. You know, I think you can have a balance of both. It makes a huge difference, because even though some of the 35-year-olds are coming out of whatever level they're playing at, having someone who's played slightly longer will be able to help and direct them along the pitch, which makes a big difference. You know, communication within the game helps so much. So I just think some people may think differently, but I think it all depends on, especially with the way you play as well. If you're a team that's very out and out, you know, quickly get the game done, the younger guys make a big difference. But if you're a team that wants to manage the game, I think with experience and older heads, that helps.
Do you think we will ever find, because again, you know, we've like all spoken about in this crop of players now, they are more system players rather than individuals. And of course, you know, it's going to filter down into like the grassroots level as well. You know, like we all talk about the likes of Pirlo that you could have mentioned, even like the likes of Zidane, who again wasn't really like the quickest, but as you alluded to, Chris, like their football IQ was just above the roof. Why can't we have those type of players playing, you know, for like vets football, rather than thinking it's all about pace, it's all about covering ground? Isn't it also about being smart?
Yeah, it is. But again, it depends on, like I just said, it depends on the manager. It depends on what the manager wants. If the manager wants wants energy within the front line and maybe in a certain attacking area within midfield, then that's what they're going to go for. But like I said, if they're going to have someone that wants to control the game and, you know, pick passes and do something, they're going to go for that. So I guess it's more down to the managers than anything else. You know what I mean? I'm not a manager within a Vets game, so for me to answer that, it's a bit difficult. I can only speak for who I play with and, you know, who I play alongside. And I feel like within our team we've got a good mix of both, you know, energy, quality on the ball, you know, intelligent footballers. I feel like we've got that within Holiton, and I think some other teams maybe go slightly different. So again, it all depends on what the manager would want and how they want to play their style of play. Because, you know, some might want to blow the team out of the water really quick. So having younger, fitter, faster players may help with that. But then some people just maybe not want to do that. It all depends.
Nana,
what do you look for in the squad that you've got? And literally, when you're picking your 11, do you pick the strongest 11, you know, straight off the bat, or literally do you look at the opposition and then adjust it accordingly?
Yeah, I definitely look at the opposition. There's so many factors that come into play when I'm picking the side for a game. Opposition is key. to picking the side. Obviously, depending on who turns up on a Saturday, then you can juggle that to put a team out there to want to play. Now, I look for graft. I look for graft. I look for people who want to work and want to work hard. Because at this level, you can't really carry luxury players. You can't. To win games of football, especially at this top end, a lot of these players are very clever technically. A lot of them are fit. So if you have a player who, yeah, can do a bit of magic here and there, but will not work for the team, ultimately sometimes it goes against you in your team as a whole. So I definitely look for graft first. I look for those who want to work hard to join the squad, as you already know. Yeah, that's the most important thing to me.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, I kind of, I literally agree with both of you. I think like the mix has got to be right. And again, sometimes there's like certain players that can just slow the game down. And, with like those certain players, they just also breed confidence. And yeah, exactly what Nana said. Sometimes there are like, certain players that will give you respite because like they're so mobile and so agile that they can get you up the pitch, they can cover ground, they can kind of cover certain mistakes. So like for me, it's about finding that balance. But again, exactly what Chris said, it's all about football IQ as well. Yes, like your body will always slow down. That's just how like life is. But if you can keep your brain sharp, then you will actually always be, 2 or 3 steps ahead of your opponent. Yeah. Chris, this is a question to you. So we are talking about the Southern Vets Football League top division, Premier Division.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the teams are actually quality, are actually that good, or is the league itself just poor?
Well, no, I think there's definitely quality teams in it. Obviously, I think like Nana said, it all depends on who turns up. I think that's the difference with teams. It's not that the fact that teams don't have good quality. I just feel like it's all about consistency. Consistency is so important, and I think if you have a team that that you can have consistently players turning up week in, week out, which is very rare, especially within vets football. People have life, children, families, whatever. But I feel like having a big squad makes a big difference. Being able to call upon multiple players just in case anything happens makes a big difference. And I think leagues are always won on teams, not individuals. And I feel that, especially within this league, anyone could beat anybody. We've seen it. Nana even said it earlier. There's some results that shock people, and you turn around and go, "Oh, right, okay." And there's some results where you kind of do go, "Okay, it's expected." But at the same time, I just feel like it's any football league is exactly the same thing. Every team's going to have some teams that are slightly stronger than other, but it doesn't mean they're not. They're not rubbish or they're not great. It just means that maybe they just need to recruit, and that's because maybe they're turning up with 12 to 13 players, and then another team they're playing are turning up with 15, 16 players where they can make multiple changes. I think that's the difference within certain teams. Like we're quite lucky and blessed sometimes to turn up with quite a big squad so we can make changes. But then there's odd times when we turn up and we haven't got a big squad. It's how it is.
Nana?
It's for me. I said it before. It's definitely about who turns up on a Saturday. Um, I think Chris has said it all. There's really not much to add. It's consistency because as we are paying to play, we choose when we want to come. So being as a manager for me, being able to create an environment where people actually want to turn up and want to buy into whatever idea that you're creating, whatever family that you're creating, it's really really important. And you and I have gone through the years of having 12 players turn up, 11 players turn up, to actually having 16, 17, or sometimes 20, and having to tell people that, oh, this week, um, don't come. It's a beautiful headache to have, but to be able to win anything is the consistency. If you have 11 players, the same 11 players turning up week in, week out, they create a bond, they create an understanding, they create a togetherness. Everybody knows everybody's runs, everybody knows everybody's temperament, and the gel. And if that happens over a period of time, over a period of months, there's a good understanding. You tend to win games, and that's about it. That's really about it. Listen. You can have the best team that you want, but if they don't turn up, if the players don't turn up, you're gonna be screwed. And it's something we can see clearly in some games. In terms of some of the results that we see. And when you speak to the person or you speak to the club reps or the teams, they say, "Oh, we have so many people missing, or this person didn't turn up, or that person didn't turn up." That's what it is. Because we know on paper, some teams are better than others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my question to both of you.
Whoa.
Sorry.
What do you think?
What?
Don't try to go on to the next question.
No, okay,
What
cool. I can actually honestly think it's weaker.
Why?
Because if you can have, again, I was literally going to talk about like 3 or 4 teams that were in the Premier League when, again, it was a difficult league to get points. You are like looking at Prime Defiance, Glebe, Johnson and Phillips, Charcoal, Wombels. There are 5 teams there that were Prem class. So literally, if you kind of compare like the Prem 5-6 years ago to how it is now, how many teams in this Prem could literally get points of those teams?
So many teams.
But what if any of them teams, their players don't turn up? Anyone can get points off anybody. You've seen it.
Kutovic he's trying nonsense. He's trying nonsense.
No, but my thing is,
those times, those teams, because I used to ref those times, they were a lot older. The standard of football there, yes, they were experienced and there was quality over there because some of them were ex-pros and whatnot, but they were a lot older. The technical ability over there was very good, but the stamina and fitness was not. Right now, teams will grind you to the ground. You have the independents and Kawhias and all those. They will grind you to the ground, and I guarantee you they will get points of them. How can you say that the league is weaker now when teams are? It's quite level pegging, and teams are getting points off each other. It's the most competitive I've seen in a long time.
I want to ask you, right? So let's rule off some of the teams because I kind of want to get a better understanding with this. So you got Holland and LSU, yeah. You've got, and then when I rule them, all right, so we're there. So let's start. Holland, weak or not? As in weak. So you're saying we've got weaker teams. I want you to pick out the teams that are the weak that are the weakest, yeah. So Holland,
strong.
Weak, strong. Okay. LSU,
strong.
Catford,
strong.
Okay. Kamuya,
strong.
Okay. Leone Stars,
weak.
Okay. But they beat you in a friendly. But they beat you in a friendly. But they beat you in a friendly. Who else we got? Who else is there? Independent.
Strong.
Who else is there?
Bow Street.
Bow Street Runners.
Bow Street.
Really? You have to think about this.
Let's let him land.
Okay. Week.
No.
Week.
You said week, yeah. So that's 2 week. The rest are all strong, yeah. Who else is there? Is that it?
Sporting Santos.
Sporting Santos.
Right now, week.
Okay, and anyone else?
That's it. That's it for now.
That's it, right? So, out of all of them, right? You said 3 teams a week.
No,
Yeah?
2 teams a week.
No, he's saying 3. He's saying 3.
Oh, 3 teams a week.
He said
yeah.
Leone Star. He said Leone Star.
Oh, yeah.
He said
Both
Santos at the moment.
Sporting Santos and Bow Street.
Yeah. So you're saying them three teams a week.
Mhm.
So how does that compare to the whole league being weak if there's only 3 that are weak?
But
you're
again,
gonna have teams that are maybe not as strong or whatever than other teams, and that's again it's literally due to either not having certain players available on certain times or not maybe recruiting. You know, people move on and stuff like that. That happens. Like, for example, look at LSU. You look at LSU's team, yeah. Majority of them players weren't there when I was there. It's a slightly changed, but they're still strong. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say the league's weak. I just think it happens. It's all about days. It's all about what happens on the day. Do you know what I mean? It's vets football. Anything can happen.
You know, so literally with the kind of literally teams that are strong, probably are from Hollanton and LSU. Everyone else is literally, I'd say, a decision away of, I say one decision away of either winning the game or losing the game. Like literally, it's all level pegging.
Okay, so what happens if any of them 3 teams go and beat you guys? Do they still stand? Do they still go in the weak cat? What does that make you guys? That's just my question. Because if you're saying them 3 teams are weak, but they go and beat you, does that make you weak? Does that make your team weak?
Well, I'm like going on this season. No.
Yeah. I'm talking about this season. If this season, I don't know how many times you played them, but if you have to play them again at any point in the season, them 3 teams, all 3 of them go and beat you in the league, does that make your team weak?
Depends on how they beat us.
No. Don't just answer the question.
No, it's,
it's not about how they beat you, because they can beat you 1-0. They can still beat you 1-0. The points on the board will say Leone Star 2 points. That's all. It doesn't matter how they beat you. The question is,
again, it's the
but you're Kareem, wait.
No,
you're going around the houses. It's a simple yes or no question. If either of them 3 teams beat you, does that make your team weak? Yes or no? Doesn't matter about how they beat you, because you can win a game 1-0. It could be off your kneecap, could be off your end of your nose. It doesn't matter how you score. All that matters is the result and how you are in the table. If they beat you, does it make you weak?
With one result, no. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
But there you go. But it's the same with them.
Hold on.
With them. They might not have a great week, but then next week they bounce back.
So wait, Tommy. So the 3 teams that Habs is talking about, those 3 teams, you said they are weak. So if say Catford get beaten by Sporting, Bow Street, and Leone Stars, does it make us weak then?
It's a
that's 3 games, not 1 game. That's 3 games. There's 17. That's 3 games. So does it make us weak then?
Thank you, Nana.
No, but again, for me, it's the manner. It's the manner of the defeat, and also as well. No, hold on. Wait.
It's who turns up, mate. On paper, a lot of teams are strong. We've always said how many teams are strong, but who turns up on a Saturday determines how the game is going to go.
So, Breeze, can I just say one more thing? I kind of get what you're saying, right? You're going to say it depends how you lose, but the league table don't lie, mate. The league table don't lie. If you go and lose to all 3 of them, if you go and lose to all 3 of them teams, it says on the league table when it goes to the fixtures, it says Catford lost to Leone Stars, Catford lost to Santos, and Catford lost to Bow Street Runners. No one's going to turn around and say, "Oh, 1 minute, how did they lose? Did they lose by this or did they lose like this?" No one's going to care about that. They're going to say it's going to say in black and white. That's how you lost. No one's going to ask that question. It says you lost, and then people are going to turn around and say, "Well, Catford ain't as good as what they think they are."
But okay, so I would say like the gulf between the Prem and the Championship, or should we say Division 1 and Division 2, is literally again a couple of players away. Look, and again, let's be honest. You know
What?
Wait, hold on. Yourself and Gary, Chris, said that Catford didn't belong in the Premier League.
I stand by that. Even when we're down here, I stand by that.
Yeah.
No, the reason why I said that is because of where you finished in the table, not because of your players.
No, but okay,
because of where you finished in the table. That's why.
No, but let me finish. Let me finish.
Go on.
We're talking last season and literally a couple of seasons ago.
Okay.
I'd say 4 or 5 seasons ago, that would not happen. It's either like the top 2 or possibly like the top 1 would go to the Premier League because it was so competitive and then literally you were like talking about well-established, well-drilled teams. That
rubbish.
No,
you only started when that there 4 seasons ago.
1 minute. No, let him land because I'm going to counteract it after. God.
Yeah. So, so again, us now having, is it a 7? Is it? Yeah. I think it's a 7-team league. Yeah, I'm saying that, it's, cool. Like the teams are like strong, but the league in itself, as in its whole, it's not as competitive. Like we have 7 teams.
Right. Well, so how many teams were in the league last year? How many teams were in the top
10.
division last year? 10, yeah?
10.
So how many left this year? So Charcoal left. Remember, Charcoal left.
Glebe left.
Metrogas apparently folded, but then miraculously come back together. So that's 2. And then what was the other team that left?
Glebe.
And Glebe again folded, right?
No, but again,
1 minute. But 1 minute. Let me land. Like you said to me, and you told me and Gary, other teams were offered to go up. Yes or no? Other teams were offered to go up. Okay, and they declined it. Yes or no?
Probably, yeah.
So that doesn't mean that the league is not great because there's only 7 teams. The league it's not got many teams in it because teams decline to go up. To go back to your thing of what I said about Catford, I said, and I quote, and I still stand by it, you guys didn't deserve to go up because of where you finished, right? That is what I said. Also, yes, if you are given the opportunity to go up, you chose to go up, but you chose to go up. Listen, whatever you got, but I stand by it. Where you finished in your league, you should never have been offered the opportunity to go up. It should have only have been the teams that were closer to the promotion spot to go up. If they decline it, that's fine. But it's not because the league hasn't got many teams in it because it's not good quality in the league. Are turning around going, "Oh, these people we're gonna make the league small because there's not good teams out there." People don't want to go to the top league. You even said to yourself, why do they not want to go to the top league? Because they don't want to get spanked every week. That's exactly what you said to me.
Mm-hmm.
That was your words.
True.
Yeah,
but again,
right. So you're kind of going back on yourself a little bit because you're saying the league hasn't got better because there's not many good teams in it that didn't go up. But how can you make the league better if certain teams don't want to go up? You can't. It's impossible.
How I see it, and again, with the utmost respect to Bow Street have, Bow Street have an amazing style of play. Like, they know exactly to a man what they have to do. Yeah. They may not have the quality of a Holland Turner, Catford, or LSU Independent, but they have a system. Yeah. And again, until maybe someone from Bow Street comes onto the show, 2 or 3 years ago, there's absolutely no way Bow Street would have said, you know what, let's go to the Prem, because of the quality that was there.
But you just said only one team can go up. So if they didn't win their league, how can they go up?
No, but literally, we all know teams that refuse to go up because of quote unquote the quality of there's about 5 or 6 quality teams that would spank them.
Not necessarily.
Come on now,
but like you said, but like we said earlier, if they, how many times has Bow Street, maybe cancelled a game because they can't get a team out? How many times?
I don't know.
Never.
No, they have this year. They couldn't play a certain.
Yeah, I mean against Holland. Yeah.
No. It's not because they couldn't get a team out. It
Yeah,
was
you're
around
thinking of something else.
No, but what my point
the
is,
Robinson issue.
no,
Yeah.
that's fine. But what my point is, is that I'm not saying they do it regularly. But what my point is that if they can't get a team out and they can't get a consistent team out, why would you go up? It's not because you can't handle the league. It's because you can't get a consistent team out. That goes
But
for everybody.
the perfect example would be Metrogas,
There you go.
because
And they
Metrogas
showed
are a
it.
decent side, but if you remember the wahala that they caused last season, because they didn't finish 75% of the games,
Because they didn't want to play.
and
And they couldn't
because if teams have beaten them and they've gotten 6 points off them, and they don't complete 75% of the fixtures, then it means that all those results are expunged, which means that a team, say if LSU had beat them 3 times and Hollinston 2 times and Hollinston lost 2 times to them, and it was 6 points difference. If those points are expunged, it means that then Hollinston and LSU come on level points, which can determine the championship. You see what I'm saying? So teams who are consistent with turning up week in, week out, getting the squad and playing a game of football, not compete. That's who you want in the top division. A lot of teams don't want to come there. We've known that for a long time.
I think what it is as well, right, is that you look at some teams, and it's not about, it's like you said, like maybe they didn't want to go up and get beat every week. It's not because they weren't good enough. It's because they couldn't get a consistent team out. Why would you go into a league not because you're worried about getting beat because you're not good enough? You're going into a league where there's a possibility that you might not be able to get a full squad out every week. What is the point? Because you're not going to be able to compete at your best capacity. You want to go into the league knowing that you've got a squad to go into it. And that's the be all and end all of it. It's not because the league is rubbish. It's because teams didn't want to get promoted. Teams didn't want to go up. You can't force people to go up. You guys jumped to the chance. You went up. There you go. That's just how it is.
Okay. Big shout out to Axe, who's the manager of Summers, and like he mentioned, possibly having a Bet Super League.
Nah.
A question. Okay. Wait. Hold on.
Nah.
Wait. Hold on.
I'm going to answer what. I'm going to answer.
Wait. Okay. So literally, I'm just gonna ask you a question. Name me 6 teams. Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah. So literally, Nana, you name 6, and then Chris name 6 of
I don't want to answer that because I've played in a Sunday Super League, which is atrocious, and I know for a fact.
No. We're not talking about.
No, but listen. Let me finish. Just knowing that if people can't, and this is what. Let me land what I'm talking about, right? I played in a league that was a Super League for Sunday leagues, where you had to travel all across London to play games, right? Now, playing a Super Vets League, where you're going to have a travel around London everywhere, you can just about get a squad out to travel to your home ground, which is maybe half an hour down the road. So how are you going to get a squad out to go and travel halfway across London to go and play someone that's in North London or someone that's over in East London? You can't. People ain't going to want to do that. So I wouldn't go with it. I wouldn't, because I can't see people committing to it and being serious about
it. Nana, could you give me 6 teams you think that could compete in a Super League?
6 teams. I mean, what are the parameters? Is it all over London?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Super League is. It'll be across London.
Okay, well, 6 teams. Obviously, I can take 3, 4 from our league. I can say Hollington, Independent, LSU, Catford, Kawuya. They can all compete in that league, and I can add some Summers to it.
Okay.
Because Summers have to travel, just they go through the tunnel and they're here. But I 100% agree with what Chris is saying, because you have to be careful about the parameters. We see week in, week out, when as soon as the draw comes out, teams enter the London Cup, for example, and they just wait for the draw. If the draw is a home game, they play. If it's an away game, they just give it by because nobody wants to travel to like Hen Bay or
I'm confused why.
Surrey, or
I'm
it just
confused why they're
doesn't make any
I'm
sense.
sorry, I got nothing against them. I'm confused why they're even in it.
Yeah,
We're not talking about the London Cup. We're not talking about the London Cup.
No, I know
no,
that.
we're just saying if it's a Super League, it will be the same format.
But there
If
will
it's a
be
Super League,
teams
it's the
that
same format, isn't it?
won't they be,
Because you have to
won't
travel all around
yeah,
London.
it would be, but also won't they be teams that will be considered because they play in the London Cup?
Mm.
But again, that's what I'm trying to say. This is what we're trying to say. It's like I get it. It's a great idea. It's such a great idea. It is. It's all whistles and bells and all that. But then the commitment, man, the commitment. Like Nana said, no one wants to travel to certain places in the London Cup. Everyone's like this. Let's get a home draw. Let's get a home draw. Because then if you get a home draw and you get someone that's drawn far away, they don't want to travel.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like we played. I remember playing for LSU. We had to travel way over into, I think it was like deep into North London to play a game. And I was just like, God, blimey, this is missions. And I was like, thank God I don't have to do this every week. I said that when I drove there. And then imagine being part of the team and you don't even get on. And you travel all that way. But I can't see people wanting to do it. It's a great idea, but I can't see people wanting to do it.
Okay. Nana, this is pushing. I can't remember who actually started off the previous topic.
I did. It was Nana.
Cool.
Nana's next.
Cool.
Yeah, it was
Nana, this is a topic to you. Squad rotation or squad transfers versus loyalty. Do you think Vets teams are too quick to go out and try and get players from outside rather than looking within the club, within the squad, to actually give those players an opportunity?
What are you talking about? If you don't have good players in your squad, obviously you're going to look elsewhere. And also, you have to realize that this is Vets football. Everybody's over 35. People actually, this is the twilight of their so-called footballing careers.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who just want to play football, enjoy themselves, win, lose, or draw. But there are people who consider this as this is probably my last few years to win anything in football. So they would obviously want to find a club that align with their desires, with their ambition. Simple as. That's why you see players moving from club to club. It's as simple as that. From a manager's point of view, I said it before, it's important to be able to create a vibe, an environment where people want to stay and fight for that cause. If you do, then you can eventually have a pulley of players coming through because ballers no ballers, isn't it? So if you do, then people want to stay. People will bring their friends on. People will get introductions and all that. But apart from that, no. There's the loyalty business and it's the environment that you create.
Okay, Chris.
I guess you wanna look within your squads, but also why would someone sign players that they don't think are good enough? I can't imagine any player signing someone that they don't think is good enough or a good fit for their team. And obviously some people move on for multiple reasons, some people move on because maybe they just see their time is up wherever they are. Some people move on because they just don't feel like it's going their way at the team. They could be playing and it just doesn't feel like it's the right fit for them. There's multiple different factors to to why people move on. But also I think at the same time, there's nothing wrong with adding quality to your team. I think, like we said earlier, that if you've got a squad and you've got, like us, look at us now, we've got quite a big squad, but we've got now 2 or 3 people that are out and they're going to be out for long term. Why would you not go and recruit to ensure that you're able to go and still compete in the league? So I think recruiting is quite important. Obviously, do it very carefully, because you don't want to upset the apple cart in your team. But at the same time, if you've got a squad that are a squad and they're all together and they understand the exact same goal in what you're trying to achieve, I think signing people shouldn't be an issue.
Don't you think that the players that maybe got you into, is it Division 1, Division 2, like the Premier League, do you think those players should at least have an opportunity? And literally, when I say an opportunity, I'm not talking about 30 minutes. I'm not talking about just one game. I'm not even just talking about 2 or 3 games. Again, like it's kind of literally all about repetition and literally making sure that you are literally in the groove. Don't you think those like players deserve an opportunity to literally state their claim in the team?
I think any team you play for, everyone gets an opportunity to state their claim. But depending on what run you can be playing in a team that are on a run they're unbeaten in like 6 or 7 games, and you're getting consistent players. But if that person who was there from before was underperforming and ended up at the team, that's just life. It happens. I think we've got to remember there's some people are managers in Vets football that are not necessarily managers. They're just a man who's trying to create an environment for a team where you can get friends together, and people have connections with other players and stuff like that, bring them in. But we're playing grassroots football. We're not playing in the Championship, Premier League, or whatever. We're playing grassroots football. Like you said, it's about enjoyment and stuff like that. So I feel like we've got to take that into consideration as well. We're human. We make mistakes. We make decisions that may not make everyone happy. I've been on the end of a couple of them, but that's life. If you want to be part of something and you want to win something, I think you got to understand the reasons behind it. But I think also speaking to players is so important. Having a conversation with them, and explaining your decision on why you're doing things. I think that is so important, man. Communication is massive. And if you can't do that, then that's obviously what is going to cause the issue within your team.
Nana?
So football is all about the evolution. Yes, people will have you give people an opportunity to play, but the levels are higher. The stakes are higher once you go to the top end of the divisions. So the same players who have come through Division 2, Division 1, and to the Premier League, one, they're growing older. 2, the level of competition in the lower divisions are different from that in the Premier divisions. Their physicality, the energy, and all those things required might be good enough for Division 2, Division 1, but they may not be good enough for the Prem. So for me, evolution takes care of itself. There are players who understand that, okay, this is a different ball game for me. Maybe I'd like to stay in Division 2 or Division 1 so I can enjoy my football, not to get spanked week in, week out. That is why some teams don't want to come up. That's why some clubs want to stay in the lower divisions and play and enjoy their football. I don't want to say like whether it's Metro Gas or Say Gas or whatnot, but we all know that some teams don't want to come up because the competition here is different. So for me, bottom line is evolution takes care of itself. There will be a pool of players coming in, understanding their level of fitness, understanding what they can do. And then the players who are already there, they will have the opportunity to play, but they will know that, okay, this guy is definitely better than me. So it's either I stay on the bench and wait to get involved in games when I'm called upon, or I can go down the levels and play for a team where I can play week in, week out. It's evolution.
Hobbs, thank you so much for like coming on. Who have Hollington got next week?
I don't think we got a game. Someone said.
Cool.
I don't know. What about you guys? Who have you got?
Independent.
Oh, you got Independent.
You've got Independent in the league.
Good luck.
At home.
Good luck.
It's gonna be a huge game.
It is. Where's your? Are you still at the same place? Where is it?
Catford.
Yeah.
By the B&Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Home base.
That's it.
Home base.
If I'm free, I'll try and come and watch.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I've got anything planned. But yeah, no, I don't think we've got a game.
Cool.
Cool.
Chris,
cool.
Thank you so much for like coming on.
Always
Nana, thank you so much again for like coming on. This is the Voice of the Game podcast. We will be back next week, Sunday, 8 o'clock. Thank you guys for watching.